Hey, what's up? I have something to talk about that I hope will help anyone who is dealing with creative block or has dealt with creative block. Um, and I'm Cody Shane. Welcome to my channel, Audio by Cody. The hardest part of doing these videos is starting to talk, like the intro. And I don't have a problem talking to the camera, but getting started is the hard part. So this is probably attempt number 12 or so, but this is the one. I have some things that I think can help people. Creativity block is something that can be overcome for good, and I mean that. It's just you just have to understand how to maneuver around feeling that blockage. So creativity is a brick wall. And if you're running into that brick wall, the answer is to choose another route. You have to go a different direction. Okay, so you have to learn how to work around creativity block. And you will, if you develop your own ways of doing that, then whenever you are feeling blocked in any path, you know what to do to take another path. So some suggestions. So this idea is not something that I have come up with, but I have used a lot and expanded upon myself. So create limitations. And if you are not familiar with Brian Eno, do some research because he's a great producer and artist. And this is, I think, an interview with him is where I kind of got these ideas, and I took them for myself. So the idea is with this technique is you just want to make some rules for yourself. You can be very abstract with this. You can get pretty crazy with it. And the idea is to have fun with it as well. So I have used dice and assigned numerical values to certain notes, and randomly selected choices, made decisions with dice. You can create limitations, like not playing instruments you're comfortable with, or it can be pretty abstract, or it could even be just pick a scale that you don't normally, or excuse me, a key that you don't normally play in. But really, it's just you want to like define a way that you typically, I would say, you don't normally do things. And I'm just kind of coming up with examples for that. So I can just give you some examples of ways that I have done it in the past. So the album that I'm mixing right now, that I'm so close to being done with, every song on the album I set out to make exactly 7 minutes long. And that limitation pushed me way harder than I would have ever pushed. I learned so much. I had to work so much harder for it. Which I know that's not an answer to getting around creativity block, but just an example is how limitations can push you further and make you create things. I created transitions that I never would have thought of. There's key changes in almost every song. That limitation pushed me. There was no creative block, but it pushed me past anything I would have done. I also have a song that, not on this album, but a song in the past that I wrote as an exercise that I wanted to see if I could write a song with just one chord. And it turned out really cool. I still play it today. I did have to do a chord change in the chorus. It just goes to another chord. But it stays on one chord through most of the song. And I play it all the time still. It's a great song. It turned out, that exercise turned into like a great song. So, and that kind of brings me to the main point of these limitation rules is not to follow the rules. It is to push you to do things. And then knowing when to break those rules and letting yourself break those rules is when you can really take it further. And with my album, only a couple of the songs are exactly 7 minutes long. Most of them go over just a little bit because it just sounded natural to do so. And it took me a second to allow myself to break that rule that I made for myself. And same with the one chord song. Putting another chord in the chorus really took the song further. So the point of the limitation rules is to help you be more creative. So another route to take, and you could take it in conjunction with the limitations, is if you set out to make something bad. And I say that it's not that what you make will be bad, it's if you go into it with that mindset. If you're thinking, I'm about to make something, and I don't really care if it's bad. You remove expectations, which is huge, and that's important, and that's something that I'm going to talk about further in another video. So examples. So record a song, build an entire song, and do it all in one take. Keep every mistake and just make the whole song that way. It can create some very cool results. And then you break the rule at the end. You may decide to re-record some parts, or it might just be a fun exercise. So I got some notes here. Hang on just a second. For songwriting, and this is something that I've done a lot, and this is just a fun exercise for me. It's just literally use whatever words come first. Like, don't let them make sense, or don't care if they make sense, and just do it. When I haven't been writing in a long time, that's how I typically get started, and it kind of gets those, it's like an exercise, and it gets those muscles flowing a little bit more, and super helpful. And so pretty much you want to keep things as simple as possible, and that's still in the mindset of like make something bad. Just pick the most basic chord progression that you can think of. Keep it at 2 chords, like as simple as you can get, and stick with that and build on that. And that has taught me so much. I set out to make something bad, keep it super simple, and end up building these songs that it's so easy to make something simple sound cool. So I greatly recommend that. You can never be too simple. You probably can, but use your judgment in the end. And so another thing is, again, explore different routes. Like, don't keep running into the brick wall. If you are an acoustic singer-songwriter and you have run into a creative block, and you keep trying to play acoustic guitar and write songs, you are running into that brick wall repeatedly. So play another instrument. Use other forms of expression. Write some poetry. Read some poetry. Paint, draw. There's so many things. Is our creative energy, our creative muscle, however you want to think of it. It's something that it's like working out. If you go to the gym and you do the same workout every single time, and you go every day, you're gonna plateau, and that's exactly how creativity works. So if you explore other outlets, it gives you more paths around that brick wall, and that alone really is the key to getting around any kind of block. So that's pretty much it for my suggestions on how to overcome it. But I feel like it should be said at the end here that if you're experiencing a blockage, if you feel blocked, it's highly possible that your mind and your body is trying to tell you something, and it may not be directly about the art. In order to be a good artist, you have to have a good balance. And if you're feeling a lot of blockage, sometimes practicing the art isn't what's needed. And you may need to take a step back and focus on yourself. I don't know, society's so fast, and we it's easy to just keep grinding and not pay attention to yourself. But those creative blocks sometimes are really telling you something. We gotta eat. Like, that's something that I've, in the past, like when I get working on something, it's hard to stop and eat. And those things, they make a difference. And exercise, doing the same thing over and over is not good for your brain. It's not good for your mind. It's not good for your mental health. It's good to have routines, but it's good to break them. There's so many things that could be going on within you, and only you can sit with yourself and figure that out. So these suggestions can take you around creative block if it's just a logical block and you're just tired of doing the same thing and it doesn't feel as good anymore. But I want to encourage you, if you are feeling super blocked, to just kind of take a second and figure that out, and make sure that it's not just a logical creative block. Make sure that a lot of times when I'm not liking what I'm doing, I realize when I take a step back and I start taking more walks and reading a little bit more and not consuming as much, that's when I really start to feel better. And once I feel better, everything flows so easy. Creativity is something that should flow. You should always be able to access that. Sometimes a little better than others, and it's something you practice, and you are always better when you are in practice. So that's all I got for that. I hope that helps somebody. I hope that all makes sense. And yeah, I got nothing else. So peace. Well, you know what? If you've made it this far, keep watching my videos. That's all I ask for. Appreciate it. Peace.